Well, hey everybody, I'm Steve Montelli. Tonight, it's going to be a head-to-head battle between the fake Bellroy slim sleeve right there and the real Bellroy slim sleeve right there. So let's get right to the differences. Number one, take a look at this. And this is one I didn't appreciate until the real Bellroy came in. Look at the difference in the width. Okay, now I have them lined up pretty close here. But look at the difference when it closed in the width. See how much bigger the fake one is? Now the fake one's in the back, and the real one, saying Bellroy on the front, is right there. So that's the first big difference. Here's the second big difference. Once again, this is the fake one back here, and this is the real one down here. Look at the thickness of them with nothing in it at all, just right out of the box, basically. The real slim sleeve is much thinner than the fake Chinese slim sleeve. Slim sleeve, that's kind of that's a tough one to get out all at once sometimes. So let's take a look now at the stitching on them, okay? Because that was a point of contention for me also, is that I said the stitching was really shoddily done, I think is the words I used. So let's start up here in the corner, and let me see if I can keep this focused as we come in there. This is a tough little focusing problem right here. Okay, take a look at the upper right corners. So it's a much nicer looking stitch on the real slim sleeve, which is right here, versus the fake slim sleeve. You wouldn't think those two words would be so hard to say, would you? But they seem to be. The stitching looks much better on the real one. And you can also see, you see the little indentations on the bogus slim sleeve back here? That's the sewing machine walking up the side of the leather doing the stitching. And that's visible on the fake slim sleeve. And there are no step marks on the real slim sleeve. There's a tough mouthful somehow. So the stitching is obviously better on the real one. Now if you look at this stitching right in here, we're going to take a look at right in there. Let's see if there's any differences on that. That looks pretty good there. That's the real one. And it doesn't look horrible on the fake one either. I mean, right there's not really much of a difference. Let's see. Yeah, the stitching right here looks okay, but once again, you look up here in the corners, and you can see on the real one, see how the stitch makes a nice right turn there, a nice 90-degree angle? You don't see that on the fake one. It's just sort of a conglomeration kludge right there at the end. I don't know what you'd call that other than just kind of a mess. But the stitching is obviously much better on the real slim sleeve. Now, the leather, okay? As I said on the fake one, this has the smell of cheap Chinese leather. Now, cheap Chinese leather, if you head down to your local Walmart and you look in the wallet section and open one of those up and take a good deep whiff, I've smelled a lot of cheap Chinese leather. This is cheap Chinese leather. Now, the real slim sleeve, while not Chromexyl strong in its smell, does smell like good leather. I mean, there is the smell of real leather here. So that's another big difference for me, is I can smell these things coming a block away. I mean, I open a wallet and just the waft of the onerous, odoriferous smell comes at me, and I know it's a fake. Now, the other big thing that really is one of the biggest areas in this is this. Now, this is the fake slim sleeve. You see how this pull tab, now everybody knows about the Bellroy pull tab. Okay, I guess I don't have to demonstrate that right now, but look at this pull tab. This just sort of hangs here, just kind of sorry looking and pathetic. It really doesn't have a use in life, and it knows that it doesn't have a use in life. Let me show you the inside of how this is done. Then I'll show you the real one. You see this little piece of nylon right here, this little strap, is sewn back to the back of the wallet. Okay, now it's not placed in the proper area to really accomplish anything. Let me show you the real one here, and you'll see the difference immediately. Okay, now, look at this. You can see where this is sewn to about the middle up here, and it's got this little groove. I don't know what we call this. We're going to call this a guide for the a guide for the pull tab. So that's sewn down. Now the downside of this guide is this right here on the back. That right there. Now I'm sure that everybody has seen this new addition, and this new addition to the back did not come into play until Bellroy finally got rid of the lining. Now the lining had its own set of problems, and I used to poke Bellroy quite a bit on the lining, because the lining did nothing to make this thing slim. But they finally got rid of the lining on the slim sleeve, and there's no lining on the card sleeve, so I'm kind of waiting for them to get rid of the lining on the rest of the line. But this was the downside to getting rid of the lining, is they had to sew through the back of the wallet, and nobody really likes that a whole lot. So let me show you the difference in how these things work with. Let's put 4 cards underneath. Now, I'm sure that over time, many of you have seen the Bellroy in action, but it's really, okay, 3, let's put 3. There we go. Let's pull this out. You ready? Here's the magic. Okay, you see how those cards come out? Now that's 3 cards under there. Pull it, the cards come out. Pretty exciting, isn't it? Okay, now let me show you what happens on the fake slim sleeve. You put them in. It goes in. Now, see how this is still sort of hanging out right here? That's all the farther they come out. It's really bad. That's it, right there. That's it. It's just really bad. So the fake is just, I mean, this is the most embarrassing thing right here. How would you like to pay $79 and get this in the mail, and this tab just sort of hangs there, kind of useless? That's the worst part of this whole thing. So those are the major differences between the fake Bellroy slim sleeve here and the real Bellroy slim sleeve here. And some of those differences are pretty big. I mean, the biggest one, of course, being the pull tab on the fake. And the size is another huge difference. So, if you think you're going to get a cheap Bellroy out of AliExpress or Alibaba somewhere, this is what you're going to get right here. You're not going to get the same quality as the real deal. So my thanks to Mari at Bellroy for sending this real one out. And one of the viewers had suggested, they said, hey, why don't you compare the fake one to a real one? So I said, wow, you know what? I'll send an email. That's a really good idea. So thanks so much to Mari for sending this out. The head-to-head is done. The real one wins. If you're going to get one, don't get that one. All right, have a good night.